On April 19th, 2017, a 30-year-old mother died in a hospital in England. She had been admitted with pneumonia, but within days, doctors realized something had gone terribly wrong. Laura Higginson had been given 6 doses of a drug that her body was never meant to handle. Her death would trigger police investigations, accusations of a hospital cover-up, and reviews of more than 40 medical staff. So, what really happened inside Whiston Hospital? Hi everyone, welcome to True Medical Stories. My name is Simone, a UK-based nurse. On this channel, I share true medical stories from inside healthcare. Now, the reason I wanted to cover this case is because it's not just about what happened. It's about how something like this could even happen in a hospital in the first place. Laura Higginson grew up in Liverpool in northwest England. Friends and family described her as warm, determined, and devoted to her family. She later married Anthony Higginson, and together they built a life raising their children in St. Helens, a town just outside Liverpool. Laura was ambitious and hardworking. She was training to become a solicitor, balancing her legal studies with motherhood and family life. But Laura also lived with a rare and difficult medical condition. By all accounts, Laura was just living a normal life, the kind of life most people don't expect to suddenly change. Laura suffered from Gittelman syndrome, a rare genetic kidney disorder. It's something she had learned to live with, but it also made her more vulnerable than most people. The condition caused the body to lose important salts and minerals through the kidneys. Symptoms may include severe fatigue, muscle weakness, dangerously low electrolyte levels, and chronic dehydration. Because of this condition, Laura was extremely underweight, about 36 kilograms, or just under 80 pounds. This detail would later become critical in what happened next. In April 2017, Laura became seriously ill with pneumonia. She was admitted to Whiston Hospital, a major NHS hospital serving the Merseyside region and operated by St. Helens and Knowsley Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust. Doctors treated her infection and placed her on supportive care. To manage fever and pain, medical staff prescribed intravenous paracetamol, one of the most common medications used in hospital. At that point, this should have been routine, something doctors deal with every day. Normally, paracetamol is extremely safe, but dosage must be carefully adjusted for body weight. And for Laura, that adjustment did not happen. Over roughly 2 days in hospital, Laura was given 6 full 1-gram dose of intravenous paracetamol. And this is where things start to take a turn. For a typical adult, that dose is standard. But Laura only weighed 36 kilograms or 80 pounds. Because of her low weight, she should have received about half the standard dose. Instead, the medication was repeatedly administered at the full adult level. This meant her body received roughly double the safe dose each time. Large amount of paracetamol can severely damage the liver, and in extreme cases, they can trigger acute liver failure. Eventually, hospital staff realized something had gone wrong. What followed was a rapid decline, and by then it may have already been too late. By the time the error was recognized, Laura had already received multiple excessive doses. Doctors began treating with an antidote designed to protect the liver from paracetamol poisoning. But, according to later investigations, that treatment may have been given too late to be fully effective. Laura's condition rapidly worsened. She began experiencing vomiting, severe organ damage, and ultimately multiple organ failure. On April 19, 2017, Laura Higgins died in hospital. She was just 30 years old. For Laura's family, this is where the story becomes even more difficult. After Laura's death, the husband, Anthony, was devastated. But, according to the family, doctors never told them about the medication overdose. For months, they believed Laura had simply died from complications of infections and underlying illnesses. The truth would emerge later. The overdose was first revealed in a post-mortem report. It was shown to the family by a general practitioner months after Laura's death. For her husband, the discovery was shocking. He later accused the hospital of failing to be honest about the error. The case eventually drew the attention of Merseyside police. So, the question became, was this a tragic mistake or something more serious? Officers launched an investigation into whether Laura's death might have involved criminal negligence. The case was then reviewed by the Crown Prosecution Service, which decides whether criminal charges should be filed in England and Wales. Investigators found that multiple members of hospital staff had breached their duty of care in prescribing or administering the medication. However, prosecutors concluded that the evidence did not meet the legal threshold for criminal charges such as gross negligence manslaughter. And this is where the case takes another unexpected turn. It was reported that there were no criminal charges. However, the case triggered major professional reviews. Multiple healthcare professionals involved in her treatment were reviewed by regulators, including the General Medical Council and the Nursing and Midwifery Council. These organizations investigate whether medical professionals should face disciplinary action or restrictions on their license. Years later, a formal inquest was held to determine the circumstances of Laura's death. The inquest concluded that Laura had indeed received excessive doses of intravenous paracetamol. However, the coroner ruled that it could not be definitively proven that the overdose caused her death. Instead, the official cause listed included multiple organ failure, sepsis, and underlying liver disease. The coroner delivered what is known as a narrative verdict, rather than ruling unlawful killing or medical neglect. One of the most controversial aspects of the case involved what is called the duty of candor. Under UK law, hospitals must be open and honest with patients and families when medical errors occur. Critics argued that the hospital failed to properly inform Laura's family about the overdose. The case therefore raised wider questions about transparency with the healthcare system. Laura's death sparked debate about several issues with the National Health Service: medication safety for vulnerable patients, communication with families after medical errors, and accountability when mistakes happen. For Laura's husband and children, the legal outcome brought little closure. The family spent years pushing for answers, but what happened inside the hospital room where Laura spent her final days? Laura Higginson entered hospital hoping to recover from pneumonia. Instead, a series of medical errors, investigations, and unanswered questions followed her death. Today, her case remains one of the most discussed examples of alleged medical error within the UK healthcare system. And for her family, the search for accountability continues. Because, in the end, this case leaves behind more questions than answers. And for Laura Higgins' family, those questions haven't gone away. Do you think this was a tragic accident or medical negligence? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. This has been True Medical Stories, uncovering what really happens inside healthcare. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share this video to help keep these conversations alive, because awareness can save lives. Until next time, stay informed, stay compassionate, and take care.